Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hello all you kings, queens, and those in between. Paresh Maharaj here, back for a third side quest. At this rate, I'm going to be too overpowered by the time I reach the final boss. If I'm not the millionth person to make that joke, I will be disappointed. Whatever the case may be, I am back to sort of piggyback off of my previous side quest of Uncharted 4 and talk about what is now my second favorite game in the franchise, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. I borrowed this game from a friend after I saw how glowing the reviews were. I remember when XPlay reviewed it, they jokingly listed the fact that it has an ending as a negative. I popped it in, was wowed by the graphics to the point that my fear of heights didn't even kick in despite climbing up a train car that was dangling off a cliff, and my excitement didn't wane when the game flashed back to Drake, our protagonist, meeting Harry Flynn and Chloe Fraser, whom I assumed were from the previous game, which I hadn't played. I would later learn that their relationship was developed entirely off-screen, but water under the bridge. From there, we learn the driving force of the plot is Drake and his gang trying to find out what Marco Polo didn't talk about during his trek to the east. The game then teaches you the shooting and stealth mechanics through a nifty heist sequence that culminates in an obligatory betrayal from Flynn, which in turn leads to Indiana Jones-style hijinks, including the revelation that Marco Polo found Shambhala, aka Shangri-La, and a couple shootouts in Nepal and Tibet. After a surprisingly surreal turn when you start fighting Yetis, I decided, yeah, this game is incredible. So I'm going to start by highlighting something about this game that I love that has nothing to do with the gameplay. I know, I can feel your shocked faces through whatever device you're listening to this on. But what can I say? Naughty Dog knows how to do characters. And nowhere is this more obvious than with Chloe. While she is one of the characters who had her entire relationship with Drake born off-screen, she still manages to shine. Not only is she extremely hot, but she's every bit as capable as her male co-stars when it comes to a fight. Though she carries just the right amount of mystery about her to keep you on her toes, but not so much that you flat out don't trust her. That's a difficult tightrope to walk, but the writers pull it off flawlessly. And that's not to take away from Elena Fisher, whose low tolerance for Drake's bullshit was contagious, or even the cameraman Jeff. For what little screen time he got, he was still memorable as a straight man audience surrogate to all the crazy shit that seemed to follow Drake wherever he went. Then there's Tenzin. Goddamn Tenzin. The man speaks in unsubtitled Tibetan the whole game and proves once and for all that you don't need to speak the same language as someone to empathize with them. I really felt that scene in the attic from Thieves' End where Drake finds a photo of him and he says, "Miss you, buddy." They didn't skimp on the villain either, Zoran Lazarevich. Dude may just be a maniac obsessed with immortality, but he's got just enough charisma to elevate himself to at least be entertaining. I especially love the scene where the group finally finds Shambhala, and his reasoning for keeping the heroes alive while they cross the threshold is he wanted them to die knowing Shambhala was torn from them. That's wonderfully cold-blooded. But as we all know, no conversation about Uncharted characters is complete without Victor Goddamn Sullivan. His chemistry with Drake is the glue that holds this entire franchise together. It was enough to carry all of Uncharted 3 despite my mixed feelings on it. Sully is such a wonderful and warm father figure who is more than capable of kicking an ass or three even in his twilight years, and is the wrong role for Mark Wahlberg. Seriously, whose bright idea was that? But enough about the characters, because we all know that if you have a game that has good character writing but shitty gameplay, you might as well just watch a movie. The risk with games like these that wear their movie-inspired roots on their foreheads is they could end up just being movies with interactive set pieces. And I wouldn't be here if this was the case with Among Thieves, which gets around this issue by making sure the action set pieces aren't the only interactive scenes in the game. The aforementioned shooting and stealth tutorials is you basically playing through the establishment moments of Drake and his buddy Flynn's relationship before his inevitable betrayal. I will admit I did raise an eyebrow when I saw R2 was the reload button, but it works extremely well. As a matter of fact, the controls of this game are spot on. Just a simple thing like making every button do something unique makes all the difference, so you don't have situations where you're trying to do one thing but you end up doing another because one button serves two functions. The only parts that I'm not really keen on these days are the platforming not being as polished as it would be in Thieves' End. There's a rope jump in a snowy hike level that remains inconsistent, and oh my god, the dialogue. This game came out in 2009, a year after the Avengers brought the Whedonese style of dialogue of 1,000,000 quips per second to the forefront of the zeitgeist. And after that Forspoken trailer came out, I realized that I'm just not that into that type of dialogue anymore. But hey, that's what a skip button is for, right? And the less I say about that Donut Drake skin, the better. Luckily, Among Thieves still stands the test of time in other ways. You never forget your first time seeing Drake's clothes cling to his skin when he comes into contact with water, and you sure as hell never forget that train level, which has the best synergy of platforming and cover-based shooting in the entire game. And yes, Miss Chloe Fraser, kinda think Drake was better off with Chloe over Elena, but the heart wants what the heart wants, I guess. But before I start going off on a Tumblr-like rage rant, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves will forever hold a special place in my gaming history. And if you liked what I had to say here, you can hear more of it over on my own podcast, Busted Limes, where me and my cousin Black Belt bring a West Indian perspective to all things nerdy, be it monster movies, video games, TTRPGs, or anime. Everything is fair game, so head on over to your podcast platform of your choice and come bust a lime with us. And, as always, happy gaming.
Hey there, Screen Beans. Have you heard about Screen Snark?
Rachel, this is an ad break. They aren't Screen Beans until they listen to the show.
Fine. Potential Screen Beans. You like movies and TV shows, right?
I mean, who doesn't? Screen Snark is a casual conversation about the movies and television shows that are shaping us as we live our everyday lives.
That's right, Matt. We have a chat with at least one incredible guest every episode, hailing from all walks. We've interviewed chefs,
Writers, costumers, musicians,
yoga teachers, comedians, burlesque dancers,
folks in the film and TV industry,
and more.
We'd be delighted for you to join us every other Monday on the Certain POV Podcast Network.
Or wherever you get your podcasts, fresh and tasty off the presses.
What? That's not...
Can I call them Screen Beans now?
Fine.
Screen Beans!
So tune in and we'll see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere.
'Cause you're all Screen Beans now.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.